Live Smash Mouth Sports for the 2021 NFL mock draft. The guys we got on right now, these guys are the true warriors. Some of these guys are in Napa Valley sipping their wine, just waiting for their pick. These guys are ready to get in at top of the show. So before we do, I don't want to steal James, who's for the Jaguars Wire, to steal his juice or steal his flame. So I'm not going to surprise anybody. So let's just get right into it. Now, I've heard a lot of crazy conspiracy theories. I've heard trading down, trading, all kinds of crazy things. Are they going to go with what some are calling sunshine with the long flowing hair, James? So you can tell us a little bit about the pick and then why.
Of course they are. I mean, why else did Urban Meyer come out of retirement, right? Why else, had Shad Khan started the offseason? Literally, some of the first words out of his mouth in this offseason was, "We need quarterback play." I'm just paraphrasing him there, but we need a franchise quarterback, so on and so forth. That being said, I mean, for a team that is like really never had that guy since Mark Brunell, arguably, what better time to go 1-15 than last year and land on Trevor Lawrence? And ESPN and all the guys can spin it any way they want. Zach Wilson is better than Trevor Lawrence here, there, or whatever they want to spin it. But the fact of the matter is, Trevor Lawrence has long been that guy, dating back to when he stepped out of high school, or basically when he stepped out of middle school, because I'm from Georgia as well. So like I've been tracking him a long time. So when he stepped out of middle school, he was the guy. He looked like a first-round pick then, and here we are, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, no way they're coming up off that pick. They have fielded calls, according to Trent Baalke. He said that today. But, I mean, I would have to think that didn't get all that far. And that when they meet with Shad Khan later this week, that's going to be the decision, is to go with Trevor Lawrence.
I agree. So let's see if we can show this on the screen here. Let me know if you guys can see that. Yep. Number 1 pick, Trevor Lawrence, quarterback. All right. That means you are on the clock. The New York Jets. Tyler is exciting. We did a show a couple weeks ago. I got to set the stage. He said this was before everybody was in love with his long flowing hair and his quick twitch fibers. He was telling me about Zach Wilson. I was skeptical. Tyler, the Jets are on the clock. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I mean, with the second pick in the 2021 draft, the Jets are going to pick Zach Wilson, quarterback, BYU. It's the pick that it's been speculated for seemingly months now, but really just a couple of weeks. It's the one they have to make. I don't think he's necessarily a better quarterback prospect than Justin Fields, but he fits the offense better. I think the Jets are trying to run an offense under Mike LaFleur with a lot of play action, a lot of rollouts. Zach Wilson did a lot of that at BYU. He was prolific at it when he was healthy. He has a great arm. He's mobile in and around the pocket, so that should help him acclimate to the NFL a little bit better. So I think if the Jets can continue to build their offensive line around him, they have the skill position players now, maybe get a running back at some point in the draft. I think this is absolutely the pick that they're going to have to make. And I see no reason to turn back now.
I love it. I thought you were going to give James a little juice there and say, no, Zach Wilson's going to be better. But no, we appreciate it. So, Tyler, I know you had a couple minutes. So, if you got it wrong or if you want to hang around for another pick, that's totally cool. We're going to, just to let everybody know, guys are going to be bouncing in and bouncing out all night long for the first round. It's going to be exciting. So, on the clock, the San Francisco 49ers, and representing the 49ers is Jeff Barnes from Cover 2, draft. As you can see here, entry in the back screen. So, Jeff, you are the San Francisco 49ers. You can choose this as you see fit, as you think they see fit. It's totally up to you. A lot of people are speculating Fields or Mac Jones. What is your which way are you leaning?
I'm going to take, if I'm the San Francisco 49ers, Justin Fields, quarterback from Ohio State. You're talking about a player who's been a winner at every level, who continued to win in the college level. After he transfers from Georgia, goes to Ohio State, has success, gets to the playoffs. He lost to Clemson, came back and avenged that loss, and is actually an injury away from giving Alabama all they could handle in the title game. So San Francisco is going to take Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. I love it. Now we let's see here. We got guys in, popping out. We appreciate it. We're supposed to have an Atlanta guy. He said he would be in. Let's give him another minute here. In fact, when we got so much screens here, we never had. Okay, we got Evans here. Let's see if we got Evans. We got your volume going there. Let me know if your volume's working there.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good. How you doing? We got all kinds of guys popping in and popping out, so we're trying to keep all the screens going. We appreciate you calling in. So to set the stage right now, we've got Trevor Lawrence is gone, Zach Wilson's gone, and Fields is gone. Atlanta is on the clock. And you work for what? Tell me the organization again. I want to say the Atlanta Journal, but I know that's not it.
No, the Falcoholic.com.
Okay.
We're a part of SB Nation. So I'll jump right into it. Fields would have been my pick if he was still there, but obviously you said he went to San Francisco. So I'm going to go Kyle Pitts. I just think at this point, if Fields is there, the Falcons go Fields because it makes sense. I do like Trey Lance, and that would be something to seriously consider. But I think that Kyle Pitts is such a good prospect that you just can't pass up. The Falcons probably will end up declining Hayden Hurst's fifth-year option, which means there's no tight end solution long term. Kyle Pitts can also kind of fit in and play a little receiver if he has to. Julio Jones isn't getting any younger. But pretty much they're just punting on the quarterback for another year or two. Or maybe even they'll look at it in maybe day 2 picks. But Kyle Pitts, that's what I'd go.
I love it. Now I gotta ask you, that's great take, great insight there. Kyle Pitts, 4th overall. If Fields was there, we've heard a lot of speculation. San Fran is all over the place. That some have said Mac Jones, some have said Fields. I've heard a lot of serious reports they really are going to take Mac Jones here. So it is possible, Fields, that you could see them kind of overruling Matt Ryan for kind of kicking him out, if you will. You could see that happening.
The problem is that they restructured to free up some more cap space a couple months ago, before free agency started, and it kind of made everybody think, okay, maybe they're going to keep Matt Ryan long term. I mean, new head coach Arthur Smith has a history of having, Ryan Tannehill was kind of shooed out of Miami and all of a sudden had a great season with Arthur Smith. So I think he could still get a lot out of Matt Ryan. We haven't had a good run of offensive coordinators lately since Kyle Shanahan left. So I believe that, I don't know these new guys, unfortunately, because they're so new that I can't really predict what they are going to do. And there's been so much smokescreen, who really knows? But I just think with Arthur Smith's background, a prospect like Kyle Pitts that could be generational talent is too good to pass up here.
I love it. So resetting the stage, Lawrence, Wilson, Fields, Kyle Pitts. I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure never on planet Earth has there been 3 quarterbacks and a tight end to go 4th overall. That is insane. And it probably could go like that. That's not outside of the realm. So number 5, Jeff Barnes, you are multi-talented because you're the 49ers GM and you're also the Bengals GM, which is unheard of. So having given that, and thanks again to Evans for that, we appreciate that. So we're going to have guys bouncing in and out. So Jeff, let's hear it.
All right. So Cincinnati with the 5th pick, looking at a lot of the skill players going off the board, there's still a few left. But you know what? We also need to protect our quarterback who's coming off a knee injury. So we're going to take Penei Sewell. All right. We're going to give us that player on the backside that's going to be able to protect his blind side and keep him upright. We saw what happened last year, blown out knee because of protection. So we're going to try and make sure that offensive line can hold up for our future quarterback.
Absolutely. I love it. The big offensive tackle out of Oregon, 6'6", 330 pounds. This guy is an absolute machine. So now, from South Beach, Cam Vieira live from South Beach. Don't be persuaded by his New England hat that he's in the frozen tundra of New England with Bill Belichick in the hoodie. No, he is. You got to cover that up. Yeah, I don't know. Your New England fans might stone you for drafting from Miami, but for the purposes of you got the Miami shirt though. So Cam, 6th overall. Who is your Miami Dolphins taking here?
You got to get Tua some weapons. You need to get him someone to throw to. Devontae Parker was banged up last year, so we're going to go with another Devontae Smith, the Heisman Trophy winning receiver out of Alabama.
Wow. Alabama, Devontae Smith, you said, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's take a look here. So let's set the stage here. We had Kyle Pitts at 4. We were so excited we didn't even get the chance to fill in 5. We've got Penei Sewell, offensive lineman. And let's go back to Jeff here. Let's give Jeff some time to kind of reset the stage here. So Jeff, you are now at 7, the Detroit Lions.
All right. So Detroit, we've seen a lot of changes there. Well, you look at what's going on the board. I see receivers falling to me. We need receiver help. We lost Kenny Galladay. So you know what? We're going to add Jamar Chase to this offense. All right. You look at what Jamar Chase brings to you from LSU, an explosive player, a bigger body receiver, bigger than the 2 Alabama receivers. So he's going to bring that explosiveness back that we lost in Kenny Galladay.
Now, I love that. Absolutely. Jamar Chase. I've heard many people feel that they actually like Jamar Chase, believe it or not, better than Devontae Smith, which is absolutely fascinating as well. So that is very, very interesting. So number 7, we've got Jamar Chase. Cam, do you want to give it a whirl for Carolina?
Sure. We got to keep Sam Darnold on his feet, right? So Penei Sewell's off the board, but we're going to go with the second best offensive lineman, Rashawn Slater, offensive lineman out of Northwestern.
Rashawn Slater. Wow, offensive lineman. Very interesting. I tell you what I'm going to do here for Denver. There's a lot of different places to go for Denver. They even though by the way, before we choose Denver, was our Denver guy was going to be calling in here. If he can't make it, we'll give him a few seconds here. But if he can't make it, no worries. But because what he told me, I'm glad he's taking his sweet time. He must have gone to Napa Valley with the other San Fran guys. But what's funny about him specifically, he told me how great Denver was. He said the roster's stacked, and I said, really? Stacked? So I know he said that their receivers are absolutely stacked. If somehow through a miracle Kyle Pitts was here, I would take Kyle Pitts. I do think they need some offensive line help. I'm not going to take a running back here because that's way too early. However, I am going to go for them because they need to help Drew Lock. Their young gun, Jalen Waddle, wide receiver, Alabama. I'm giving him another weapon.
No, that makes sense.
So what do you think about that? And then that leaves us Dallas is on the clock. So, Jeff, give it a moment to think about it there and kind of pontificate where you feel they're going to go.
Well, if this particular scenario happens, Cowboys Nation is going to erupt because they're going to take Patrick Surtain. At this point, they get the corner to match the opposite side. Alabama teammates match up Diggs and Surtain. The top corner on my draft board, the person that many Cowboy fans have been clamoring for as they saw their secondary get torched repeatedly last year, including Diggs. So bring in the most well-rounded corner of this class to fill in the secondary of Dallas.
Excellent. You know, this gives us a time here. We've been going at such a fast pace. Let's slow down the pace here. So number 10, I got so excited there. So who did you get for number 10 there?
There was Patrick Surtain.
Patrick Surtain, corner. Perfect. So what we're going to do here, we're going to see if we have John on. John, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. I'm sorry. Did I miss 9?
You did miss 9. So you were drafted Jalen Waddle. The Denver Alliance has spoken. So before let's get your take on that. I know you were talking about Denver. Based on the board, number 1, do you like Jalen Waddle, the receiver? Do you like that pick or do you hate it?
Well, the player I like a lot. I think he's a very good player. I think he'll have a very good NFL career. But for the Broncos, when they have Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy and some of the other receivers, I wouldn't view it as a big need. So I'd be very surprised if they picked a receiver.
Who would be your pick based on this current board? I don't know if you could see the guys that we've got here. This will give us time to kind of let's reset the stage here. Who would be your choice here?
Can you give me a fast rundown? I can't see who was.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can see it here, so I'll kind of give everybody a chance here. So we've got Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Kyle Pitts, Panay Sewell, 5th overall so far. Then we've got Devontae Smith, Chase, and Waddle, and then offensive lineman is Slater. So those guys are all gone. So we've only got one defensive player off the board so far.
So Trey Lance is still there. I think if
Trey Lance is still
falls
there.
to 9, I think if Trey Lance fell to 9, the Broncos would take him. Just because if none of the top QBs are there, I think we'll roll with Locke again. But if one of the top 4 falls to 9, I think they would pick him and either have him be competition to Locke or trade Locke out. I just think they've done so much study on QBs this year. If one fell to them, I can't see them passing on it.
So and again, you're done with Drew Lock. You're done with him. Now, for the purposes of this mock draft, so now we appreciate that. We've got number 10. We had Patrick Surtain at Dallas. We've now got Jordy is now on the clock. Jordy, how are you?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Good. We were joking around. Some of these guys are in Napa Valley having some wine. So in case you missed it, John was a little too slow on the draw, so he missed his Denver pick. So the Alliance actually went with Waddle. I realistically, he told me this before a couple weeks ago, I do not believe Denver is in the running for a quarterback. I do not believe that. You could argue Waddle or Chase or Smith, whoever's available, potentially Kyle Pitts if he falls that 4. What could you see for them?
For the Broncos?
For the Broncos. I know this is early, yeah.
Honestly, I could see them going for a quarterback.
Wow.
They could definitely go for a quarterback. At first, you guys had me coming over here thinking the Patriots then traded up to number 10.
I don't know what Cam told you, but yeah. So no, we know we got you on a couple early. So we got you only got about a couple picks or one or just your pick, right?
Yes, just my pick.
All right. Well, let's get it going here. We've got. I'll let you pick. How about this? I'll let you pick the Giants and then Philly, if you want to. Why don't we let Jeff do it? Why don't we let Jeff pick the Giants? Jeff, you want to go with the Giants?
I'll take the Giants. All right. So once again, you talk about another team. They have a young quarterback. They have some skill position players. We've seen a lot of the receivers that they would love to fall to them and go off the board. So we have 2 choices. We go defense, offensive line. Earlier on, I had Micah Parsons picked to the Giants at this point. But you look at it, Elijah Vera Tucker is on the board. They could use interior help on the offensive line. So Elijah Vera Tucker will be the pick of the New York Giants.
Excellent. So New York Giants, number 11, we've got is the offensive tackle. Perfect. So now we're at Philly. Cam, go ahead with Philly. We'll kind of move this along so we can get Jordy's Patriots here.
Mac Jones.
For Philly.
Yes, sir.
All right. That will come back in the debate later. The Chargers. Man, there's so many picks for the Chargers. Wow. So many picks. Man, there's so many picks for the Chargers. We could go so many different ways. Micah Parsons is still available, correct?
Yes,
I'm going to go with Micah Parsons, linebacker for the Chargers, which leaves us one more pick, the Vikings. There's so many ways we could. Man, the Vikings, they have so many weapons of the Vikings. I'm going to go K. Woody Payne, if that's how you say it, edge rusher for the Vikings. Which means, Jordy, you are on the clock, buddy.
All right, so all the quarterbacks are gone.
Except Trey Lance.
Yeah, except for Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. Okay. All right. So we're not doing that here. All right. So today, you guys call me Jordy, but today I'm going to be Bill Blackachek. All right.
Oh,
so
there
I know
we
what
go.
you think. Yeah, Bill Blackachek, and I know Bill Blackachek's going to draft a guy from Rutgers that we don't know, but that's not going to happen. All right. So we have to prepare for when Tom Brady comes. We can't let him come into Foxborough and embarrass us, right? So we need defense. We need defense. Guys, there's a storm coming. You know what? It's a hurricane coming. And I'm picking Jalen Phillips, defensive end out of Miami. Let's go.
I like it. Jalen Phillips out of Miami, the U. That's
or athletic
exciting.
version of Chandler Jones, possibly, man. He's
Wow.
a beast.
So you think Phillips could be the next Chandler Jones?
I think he could possibly be the next Chandler Jones.
Wow. Let's get Jeff's take on that, Jeff. Jeff is a draft guru. Jeff, do you got some strong opinions on that one way or the other?
I can see how you like Jalen Phillips. Personally, I thought the best rusher of that group was Russo. I think he kind of hurt himself missing the year. But overall, and he didn't test overly great. He tested all right. But overall, when you look at the players, Jalen Phillips is that speed rusher that you love off the edge. Minnesota's looking for speed off the edge. So it's not a bad pick at all.
And that's assuming he doesn't retire and he keeps playing.
Absolutely. Now, on my board, and by my board, I mean ESPN's board, which, of course, we collaborated on that. K. Whitty Payne is number 1 edge rusher / defensive lineman. Jalen Phillips is number 2. Gregory Rousseau is a couple slots down, so I don't think they're as high on him. A guy that nobody has mentioned is Ronnie Perkins, so he should be coming along the pike pretty soon. In fact, speak of the devil, guys are coming in so quickly. Let's take a look. Speaking of Arizona, Jess, how are you?
Doing all right. How about you guys?
Just all right, not earth-shattering. You must have not been hanging out with your Napa Valley guys in San Francisco. They've been drinking. They were texting me all day. A guy, an hour before, I've been drinking too much wine today. San Francisco, Silicon Valley, all kinds of crazy stuff. So let's go over the last 5 picks to kind of reset the stage here. All the quarterbacks are gone. All the receivers gone. All the offensive linemen are gone as far as top 2 or 3 at every position. So to reset the stage here, number 11, we've got Tucker. Number 12, we've got Mac Jones. Number 13, we've got the Chargers. Number 14, we got K. Whitty Payne. Number 15, we got Phillips.
So, what corners have already been taken?
So that's a great question. So right now, the only corner that's gone has been Patrick Surtain. Is that correct, guys?
That's
for Dallas.
That's
so Patrick Surtain Jr., not to be confused with Patrick Surtain Sr., who was also a great corner as well. So you are correct. So in case, and by the way, just due to the nature, if we need to, phone a friend, that would be me. Just let me know who the best player available is, and I'm happy to let you know. So right now, J.C. Horn and Caleb Farley, or Farley, are the 2 top-rated corners available if you feel Arizona needs to go that route.
That is the direction, in fact. For the Cardinals, going into the 16th pick, I think there's 4 players that are the home run picks, and that would be at receiver. Well, we're going to assume that Jamar Chase isn't going to be even close to that, but either of the Alabama receivers, DeVonta Smith, Jalen Waddle, Patrick Surtain at cornerback, and also J.C. Horn. I like Caleb Farley, but I don't know what the Cardinals think about his medicals, and the fact that he, with the back surgery and having sat out the last year. And so if J.C. Horn's on the board, he's a lock for me. He is my pick. He is arguably, depending on who you talk to, Horn is many people's number 1 corner in this class. He's incredibly physical. He has the traits. He has the size. He has the bloodlines coming from an NFL family, and his dad, Joe Horn, former receiver. And the Cardinals not only have a long-term need at that position, but an immediate need. And so Horn can come in immediately, make an impact this year, play opposite Malcolm Butler and alongside Byron Murphy. He has great numbers in terms of plays on the ball, combining pass breakups and interceptions. There is everything that I like about him. He fits perfectly in what the Cardinals do defensively. And so with him on the board, there's no question. I don't have to debate that. If he's the one guy of those 4 left, he's my pick, guaranteed.
And by the way, I love that. And I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love J.C. Horn. You brought up the bloodlines. I don't know what it is, but the 2 best corners in the league, their fathers also played in the NFL, which is unbelievable. So, yes, J.C. Horn, the son of wide receiver Saints great Joe Horn. So, Jess, we appreciate that. Can you stick around a couple picks, or you're just a one-pick guy?
I've got to go. Got some other stuff I've got to do. I was on a radio show just a minute ago, and I've got to go take care of stuff for my family now.
I hear you. I appreciate it. Well, thanks again.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so we appreciate that, Jess. So we're going to, because we've been smashing through these picks at an alarming rate so far. We've been crushing these picks. That's part of Jeff's knowledge. Jeff studies this like a madman lost in the wilderness looking for honey, like a bear just looking for that. So let's reset the stage here. We chose 16. We chose J.C. Horn, corner. So why don't we do this, Cam? Let's try to reset the stage, reset where we're at, slow it down because we wanted to get about 2 minutes per pick. We're going at a very good pace just due to all the research. So let's try to do this. Cam, if you have the list, Jeff, feel free to jump in. Let's kind of come to a consensus right now and see the 10 best players available right now. So Cam, according to your board, who do you have right now, if you have that available, the best players available?
Well, right now, the best player available overall remaining is Trey Lance.
Okay, that Captain Obvious. Okay, so let's do this here. So we're going to go. So you're right. Trey Lance is the best guy. So let's put him down. So Trey Lance. All right. Number 2. Now you tell me. Number 2. I don't know how high you guys have Jeremiah Kamara. Do you guys have him rated higher on your board?
Yes, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is the top linebacker on my board. He's also has a first-round grade on my board as well.
Okay.
I mean, so yeah, he's one of those guys that he should be. This is the range where I look for him to go in that mid to late teens, early 20s if he slips that far. But this is the range where the defensive needs at linebacker start to come in, especially the team that's on the clock right now.
Perfect. Now let me do this, and I want to kind of go over this. So we don't have to have a consensus, but I'm just going to start naming guys. Right around this time, as I'm looking, Trayvon Mooring, safety out of TCU. All right.
Yep.
Safety.
Yeah.
And then let's go with, let's see here. Let's go with Darius Toney, wide receiver, explosive receiver / kick returner. He is coming off the board from Florida. And then let's take a look at some other guys coming off the board here. You know what? This is right around the time. Najee Harris is coming around the pike here, running back, elite running back from Alabama. Also, Travis Etienne, if you say that right.
Etienne.
I can never say this guy's name. Etienne. I wish he had a simple name. Some of these guys have such wild names. It's hard to pronounce. And then I've also got Zaven Collins out of Tulsa. I haven't seen much. Have you seen much from him?
Oh yeah, he's Zaven Collins is that physical marvel. You're talking about a 6'5", 270-pound linebacker that could play outside, play inside, has the ability to go sideline to sideline, can drop in coverage. He's a thumper in the running game. He is everything you love about him. He's not going to time as fast as Micah Parsons, but he gives you that big physical linebacker that is a easy plug and play piece in a lot of these 3-4 schemes.
Perfect. And then we've got right here, we've got Azeez. I'll let you guys see his Ojulari, and then Ojulari, and then we've got, of course, we've got Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle, and then let's get one more guy here. So Jeff, we'll let you name the 10th guy that we have available if he jumps out at you.
Okay. Well, I don't think we've mentioned Samuel Cosme, tackle from Texas.
Okay.
If we're looking at that part of the board, also. We haven't mentioned Tevin Jenkins from Oklahoma State.
That's right.
We mentioned Christian Barmore from Alabama.
Yes, Christian Barmore. I'm glad you brought that up from Alabama. It's a way too early, but I'm hoping that a team in Tampa, that big D tackle falls. Okay, so right now I know you're pressed for time. Jeff, you bailed us out. We really appreciate it. We know you only had about 30 minutes. Do you want to give one more pick before you hit the road?
Yeah, I'll take one for the road. Who's on the board now? Is it Oakland?
Right now? The Raiders are on the board. They had a little bit of some issues yesterday. They sent out some tweets. Some people liked it, some people didn't like it. But look, we're not going to get into that. I don't know if you want to get into that. You don't have to if you don't.
I think Twitter said enough.
Twitter, I agree. 100%. That was very smart. Twitter said enough.
Yeah, 100%.
But the Raiders. Let's start with this. I want to ask each guy. Cam, really quickly, what position do the Raiders need? Because I think they need a ton. So it's hard for me to pick just one.
Front seven.
Jeff, front seven?
And I agree, which is why I've mocked it, and I think he's going to remain in my mock for next week when I do my final mock. Jeremiah Owusu-Koromora from Notre Dame will be the outside linebacker for the Raiders next season. With everybody going to the spread packages on offense, you need linebackers that can not only play in the run game but can cover. You're talking about a linebacker who, he's a little undersized, but he's the perfect will linebacker in the NFL who can chase, tackle, and cover.
Okay, absolutely. So, Jeff, again, we appreciate it. We appreciate your time. That was great. So, Cam, once again, I don't know how you've managed to do this being such a Patriots fan. Miami is on the clock again. You've got your South Beach shirt on, 18th overall. Where is Miami going to go? And to set the stage here, Trey, by the way, great draft so far, Cam. Great draft so far. I want to give a thanks out to Jeff Barnes, cover 2. Jeff Barnes is phenomenal. He stepped in. We had some Napa Valley guys in San Francisco and some of the other places. That was a little slow, but we definitely appreciate that. So we're kind of resetting the stage here. So number 18 on the clock is the Miami Dolphins. Cam, give me your thoughts. And by the way, before you give me your thoughts, how are we doing on the writers, the guys coming on? Because I know we had a couple of guys, Colts got a couple other guys. How are they doing?
They're doing good. Next guy we'll have on as a Colts guy at 21. When we give this pick, I'm going to send him a message, ask him to come on in. But right now at 18, we got the Dolphins again. But this time I'm going to go defense. And I'm going to go Xavier Collins, outside linebacker out of Tulsa.
That's not a bad pick. Now, but here is the problem that I'm noticing here with this draft. Okay, so number 18, let me set that up here. Number 18, okay, Xavier Collins, linebacker. And here is the problem that these teams are running into. And for those that are really draft sticklers and hardcore, and we're going to reset the stage here, once Indy jumps on here. The problem with this board right now is a lot of the elite players are going off the board early. I've been told by many scouts and experts in the research I've done, there's not a lot of elite defensive players. I know what you're thinking. We haven't even got into the defensive players, and there's not that many elite defensive players.
Correct.
Going. That's the problem with this draft. This is a heavy quarterback, receiver, tight end, couple offensive lineman draft. So number 19, the Washington football team, man, they have so many needs here. But here is what I am going to do. I could go a lot of different ways with this pick. I think the Washington football team loves to throw us a curveball. I'm leaning towards Kadarius Toney, wide receiver, kick returner, but I'm not going to choose that. I love the pick. I would pick them. I think Washington's going to go a little bit weird, a little bit off the tracks. They're going to go with running back from Clemson, Travis Etienne, however you say that 10 times fast. Big Travis, quick, shifty. That is my pick. The first running back on the board, Travis Etienne. What are your thoughts on that, Cam?
I can see it, but I definitely thought you were going somewhere else. Where
did you think I was going? Trey Lance?
Absolutely.
No, not going to do it. Not yet. I think they might do it, but that's the easy pick. So I'm going to say no. They might pick him, but I'm going to say no. And the reason why I say no, Trey Lance is a project. Look, the Washington team is a playoff team. They made the playoffs last year. Are they going to make the playoffs this year? It's going to be hard, but they could sneak in again and take that last spot. So let's go to number 20, the Chicago Bears.
So that takes us to the Bears. I'm going to go Trey Lance.
I agree. I agree with Trey Lance. So Trey Lance, 20th overall. We are rocking and rolling. Number 20. Let's put this on the board here. Number 20. Quarterback Trey Lance falls right here all the way to the Bears.
Correct.
Now, if you're Washington, if you're the Bears and Trey Lance is there, odds are you're pretty happy. From a football standpoint, the Bears feel that they can make the playoffs. They're in the mix. The Washington, they're in the mix. They might. There's a lot of different ways they can go. Number 21, and at this stage of the game, we've gone through 20 picks. We're gonna give these. Tweet you guys. Tell all you guys. Is this Kevin Hickey? Is this our Colts guy?
I believe so.
Kevin Hickey.
How we doing?
In the dungeon. You just barely made it, Kevin.
I know. I just barely made it.
So it's all good. So we got the one challenge we have is we got to set the stage here. So let's just kind of set the stage here. The last kind of 5 picks here. New England chose Jalen Phillips. Arizona chose J.C. Horn. Raiders chose linebacker Jeremiah. Not even going to butcher his last name, out of Notre Dame. You can figure it out. Miami Dolphins chose Z Collins. Number 19, we gave him a shocker with Travis Etienne, running back for Washington, to throw a little juice in there. And number 20, Trey Lance. So there's a lot. So right now, the best safeties available: Maureen, Kadarius Toney, kick returner, receiver, Najee Harris, Aziz. Some of the other guys are available.
Okay. So just go right into it.
Jump into it. Let's hear it. 21.
Alrighty. So 21, because there's no trade backs, if there were trade backs, I think that's the most likely for the Colts, just to throw that in there.
Okay.
But if we're staying here, we're going to go with Ojulari. We're going to go with the edge rusher from Georgia. The Colts, their biggest need right now is edge rusher. They let Justin Houston walk in free agency. Danico Autry signed with the Titans. So they really need to find someone who can come in and be not necessarily a game changer, although that would be nice. It's hard to find that at 21, but Ojulari can come in. He can battle for starting snaps right away. He's a big, strong guy on the edge. He might not be the most flexible or bendy defensive end, but he's going to be able to set a good edge against the run. And he has, in my opinion, one of the better, repertoires in terms of pass rushing plan, counters, hand usage in the draft. So if they're going to stay there, I think they're going to have a lot of interest in Azeez Ojulari.
I love it. So number 21, Aziz O. Some might call him OJ just due to the spelling there. So OJ. So we appreciate that. So Kevin, we appreciate you calling in. Do you only have that one pick, or do you want to stick around, or is your schedule like there?
Yeah, I think I just got that one pick.
Perfect. Sounds good. Well, thanks again, Kevin. It's all good. Have a great night.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So now we're gonna get Tyler back in here. We've had a crazy draft. Tyler, we appreciate. We love the bouncing. We've been bouncing back and forth. We've got Tennessee. So Cam, go ahead and just give us Tennessee's pick real quick.
Tennessee. They need some defense, don't they?
They do. Why don't we do this? Why don't we give them Maureen, the safety?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Because he's the best guy available. So, Cam, if you want to bring up Tyler up to speed here, the last few picks.
All right, so I'll go from 17 on. We got Owanu Corman, the linebacker out of Notre Dame. I can't pronounce that guy's name.
Jeremiah.
Collins, Xavier Collins at 18 to Miami. Travis Etienne, the running back out of Clemson, to WFT. Trey Lance to Chicago. Azeez Ojulari, the linebacker, to Indy. And now Trevor Mourning, the safety out of TCU, to Tennessee.
Awesome. Cool. That's a really interesting lineup there of guys going. And Chicago getting Trey Lance that late, that's a steal right there. That might be the pick of the draft if it comes to pass that way, more so than the obvious Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields ones, in my opinion.
Sure.
Just in terms of the value there. This 23rd pick for the Jets is interesting because you really have to wait and see what happens to all the guys that go, the board, everything like that. Like if you're the Jets, you're thinking, all right, you either want offensive lineman or you want cornerback or you want best player available. The way I'm looking at it right now, Farley is still available, correct?
He is. Corner Farley's available. Yep.
So Farley's still available. And then I think the only offensive lineman that's really available is it Christian Derishaw?
Yep.
Okay. So that's an intriguing option because at that point you're looking at, okay, do I fortify the offensive line or do I go and get starting caliber safety? I think at this point, the Jets look at the draft and they go, okay, the cornerback class drops off precipitously after the first round.
You're
the offensive
correct.
line draft, especially interior offensive line, stays pretty. It drops off obviously from the first round, but it isn't that big of a drop off. There's still guys in the second round. They have the 34th pick. They can definitely find someone that they need. So I'm the Jets. I'm taking Caleb Farley, 23rd overall, and running out of the room happy because similar to last year, getting Bryce Hall late, you have a potential starting caliber cornerback, late first round pick. He may take a little bit of time to get in the system. They don't need him to start week 1. They're not looking to compete right out of the gates. If he does, awesome. If he doesn't, I think that's still a great value pick. And then when they come back in the second round with 34th pick, they're going to have a great amount of options available at other positions if needed.
I love it. I think the Jets lucked out with Farley falling this far. That may not happen in the actual draft, but in mock drafts, you never know. Some people have agendas one way or the other, but we appreciate that, Tyler. We've got Allison jumping in here representing the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes, very exciting. I love it.
Absolutely. So I don't know if you've been following along here, but the last couple picks, he just chose Farley, Maureen the safety, Aziz defensive end, Trey Lance, and the first running back on the board, Travis Etienne. I'm going to butcher that, as well as the top 4 linebackers are off the board. So Najee Harris is available. In case you're wondering.
Yeah, I'm surprised that who took Travis Etienne?
Washington.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to have to go with Najee Harris. Or I think it's actually Najee or something. It said that people were butchering his name, and I'm like, okay. The Steelers obviously need a running back. People are hemming and hawing whether running back should go in the first round if it's too high of a pick for the Steelers. Blah blah blah. But the Rooneys, Tomlin, the offensive coordinator, everybody, Ben Roethlisberger, I mean, everybody is saying they need a run game in Pittsburgh, and the only way they're going to do it is via a first-round running back pick. They're not going to get one in the second. They're not going to get one in the third. They're not going to get one in the fourth. So might as well go with, what you know. So I think the Steelers would be lucky, to have him still there at number 24, to be honest with you.
I would agree. And a lot of people believe that whether it's Najee Harris, I believe it's Najee, because there used to be a guy named Najee Davenport, very similar as far as size-wise running back, very similar attributes. He was a solid running back as well. Not as great as Najee Harris is. Yeah, Najee Harris, 6'1", 235 pounds, big, strong, athletic, checks every box that a human being could check. Great pick by Allison. We appreciate that.
So I hope it really happens. I hope it happens in real life. That's all I can say.
Yeah, no, I do too. And I would pick absolutely. I was going to pick him for you. For some reason, you got no bare knuckle fight with some of the other Pittsburgh Steelers folks at the bar. I was going to pick him for you if I had to step in. So we appreciate that for sure.
Thanks for having me on.
So absolutely. So thanks again. So we've got the multiple guys. Jacksonville back again. So, Cam, do you want to kind of reset the stage here? The last 4 picks, catch him up to speed here.
Last 5 picks: Trey Lance, Aziz Alahari, Trevor Mourning, Caleb Farley, Najee Harris.
So, James, is there a position right now as a Jags fan that you said, I want this? We'll get the player, but is there a position right now that you're like, this is the position right here that we need?
Well, when you're dealing with a 1-15 team, they really could go BAP and kind of address a need just by doing that alone, So, either way you slice it, however the board ends up, the Jaguars aren't necessarily going to be in a bad spot. And they can even trade back a few spots, 2 to 3 spots, and still get a player that would be a BAP player that would help the team. So, but in particular, it does sound like they would like to get a defensive lineman at 25, or, maybe maybe, a guy along the lines of Trayvon Merrick, but he's off the board right now. But defensive line is probably what I would be thinking at 25.
Cam, do you want to give us the top two rated defensive linemen?
You looking at interior, James, or edge?
Oh, he said the edge. The edge.
Both.
Okay.
Both. It doesn't matter,
All right. Edge. We got Ronnie Perkins, Joe Tyrone, Gregory Rousseau. Those are the top edge guys.
Do you like Ronnie Perkins, James?
Of that group, I really like Russo. I like Joe Tryon. I've studied him a lot. He feels like a Jacksonville Jaguar type of edge rusher, but I think Tryon would be available in the second round. And who do you have at defensive tackle?
Wait a second. Is Russo gone or is Russo still there? Cam?
I think Russo's still there.
I think you're right, because I think Jeff mentioned Russo a couple picks ago, but I don't think he said he liked him a lot more than some of the other guys. So let's give you Gregory Rousseau, defensive end. Absolutely fantastic out of Miami, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, guys?
Correct.
Absolutely. So we're going Gregory Rousseau, 25th overall. We've now got the Cleveland Browns on the board. Tyler, do you want to take that, or do you want to let somebody else take it?
I admittedly do not know enough about the Browns to make that pick. I would say just based off of what they've done in free agency and the needs that they probably have. I mean, at that point, they're probably going to have to grab Christian Darrisaw if he's available that late. So if I had to make a selection on behalf of the Cleveland Browns organization mock draft, that's where I would go. He's a guy who many project to go much earlier in the draft. So I think if he's available, Browns got to keep that line fortified.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a very solid pick. We're going to move on to Baltimore. I will pick for the Baltimore Ravens. This is one of my guys that I like a lot. If I'm Baltimore, I'm ecstatic that this guy is here. I love this guy. I am part of this guy's hype train, and I don't know why nobody's hyping up this guy. This is a wide receiver / kick returner / explosive, Kadarius Toney, out of Florida, the Florida Gators. This guy was Special Teams Player of the Week early in the season for college. This guy is absolutely phenomenal. And this is a guy that can do a lot of things and really help out Lamar Jackson. He's a gadget guy, multi-talented guy, can be kind of like a Tyreek Hill, Alvin Kamara, just a guy that can do it all. So wide receiver / kick returner / just absolute football player, Kadarius Toney. I love this guy. Which brings a couple picks to go, and we're just going to kind of plow through these last picks. Cam, we've got a lot here. Do you want to kind of reset the stage here on the last few picks, kind of the best, let's just do right now the best 5 guys available right now. Let's just kind of quickly kind of name those guys, regardless of position, just according to the board that we have. And I'll kind of help it. We've got go ahead.
I got to get back to the overall. I was on the receivers list.
Okay. I'm going to name guys here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to name some guys, Cam, and you guys can both jump on here. I believe we still have I'm on the hold on a second here, guys. Let's go to the best guy available here, and I'm going to bring this up. We've had 5 quarterbacks all gone off the board. We've had now 4 receivers go off the board. Okay. Let's see. According to this, is Darrisaw available? Christian, yeah, he chose Christian Darrisaw. So according to my board here, the top 25 guys are off the board. If I miss somebody, please correct me here.
No, you're right.
According to this, we're going to go with my board here. According to this, Jamie Davis, inside linebacker, is the best guy available.
Correct.
All right. So here's what we're going to do here. So I'm going to go Jamin Davis for the Saints, inside linebacker. He's the best available player. All right. And then for the final 4 picks, there's a lot of different ways that we could go here. So Terrence Marshall is available, wide receiver. Tevin Jenkins, I believe, is available. Nick Bolton, Elijah Moore, Christian Barmore. Those are some of the guys that are still available. So, James, do you want to take Green Bay's pick for Green Bay, or do you want to let Cam take it? It's totally up to you.
Admittedly, I don't know a lot about the Packers situation right now, so I'll let Cam jump on that.
All right, Cam, let's name the position, and then I'll kind of help us whittle it down there.
I'm going receiver here. You got to get Aaron Rodgers somebody. You got to get him some help. Wasted a first-round pick last year, as we've said. So I'm going to go Terrence Marshall out of LSU.
Absolutely. That's who I was going to choose here, Terrence Marshall. And I'll kind of, if you want to, your Kansas City guy, we're on a tight window here, so he's got about 30 seconds to call in here. So the three best guys available right now, the Buffalo Bills are an interesting team because they're a very, very talented team, but they do have some interesting needs available. So as far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of ways that they can go here. I think the fact that Greg Newsome Jr., corner out of Northwestern, is available, I'm going to say they take him, Newsome, 30th overall, which leaves Kansas City, and it also leaves Tampa Bay as the two best guys available. There's a lot of different places they can go here. For myself, I'm not going to pick yet for Kansas City because our Kansas City guy said that he was pressed for time, but he did say he could figure out how to pick up the phone and dial in. So since we've been going at a pretty good pace, we'll give him a little bit more time. Cam, any feedback from our Kansas City Wire guy? If no worries, if he got lost in the shuffle in the bar fight or at Napa Valley, no worries. So it looks like – go ahead.
Can you just repeat the last pick for Buffalo, please?
Yeah, the last pick is cornerback Newsome.
Okay, thank you.
So do we have him on the phone or no?
I sent him the link. I haven't heard anything yet.
We don't need him. Here's what we're gonna do. To be a fair and just moderator here, he told me a couple weeks ago when we was on the podcast that they didn't need offensive line. I thought he was smoking something really strong. They absolutely need offensive line. And I believe Tevin Jenkins is still on the board. Is that correct?
Yes, he is.
He's 6'7", 6'7", 320 pounds. Tevin Jenkins out of Oklahoma State. Very solid offensive tackle, very flexible guy. For a guy that big, he brings a lot to the table. 31 overall. We're going to go with Jenkins. That is the pick, offensive tackle. Which brings us to my Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I would love to say that this was by design. This was the guy all along that I was hoping would be here at 32. The Bucs have a stacked team to the Super Bowl chance with Tom Brady. They do have a great defense, as we've all seen. They've got Ndamukong Suh at defensive tackle, who's getting a little older. We've got Vita Vea, who's young, but he's had some injury problems, which means the best player on the board also matches a need and for depth for my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Christian Barmore, 6'5", 311 pounds, big, strong D tackle out of the Alabama Crimson Tide. He checks every box. I think teams would be crazy to let a guy this talented fall this far. But according to other mock drafts I've seen, according to this live mock draft, we have seen it well. James, any thoughts on that?
It is possible the Jags will take him there. At 25 where they are, they might stop his slide. But I mean, like with Russo sliding as well, those are two players that, you could argue have first round talent. So it was just a matter they might have to choose between the two, basically. I know his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, and I'm talking about Russo's agent, was saying that teams were telling him that he would go in the first round, even though it might be late, whatever the case may be. And with Barmore, I mean, I think it's a huge possibility the Jags will consider him at 25 because of the simple fact it's a drop off in defensive tackle in this class. And when you get past him and Levi Onwuzurike, it's a drop off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was on the conference call today with Daniel Jeremiah, and he went as far as saying it's like one of the weakest defensive tackle classes he's seen in recent history. So when you get those two off of the board, then it's like if you need a defensive tackle, man, you might be out of luck there, or you might just have to get a developmental guy. So I can see him going to 25. I can see him going to 32 as well.
I'm so glad you mentioned that because in my back of my mind, I'm thinking, of course, I'm ready for my Bucks, but I've got to be a fair moderator here. And I was thinking to myself, I wonder if James is going to choose Barmore for his Jaguars, 25th overall. That was in the back of my mind, but we definitely appreciate that. So, Cam, we'll give you the final word here before we wrap this bad boy up. But first of all, great draft from everybody calling in. I was kind of curious how it was going to go. It went well, especially our multiple guys like James and Tyler and our other guys. So, Cam, we'll give you the final word here.
No, I thought it went great. It's a heck of a mock draft. We get interesting storylines. Trey Lance falling to 20. Justin Fields going 3rd. So we'll see what happens next week. It's exciting time. And, given the times we're living in, we all need some excitement, and the NFL draft provides that.
Absolutely. Well, like and subscribe to the channel. Great draft, James. Thanks again. Great job. Tell all your guys. And also tell all your guys, feel free. Next week, we're doing our live draft 4 hours. We're going to have guys bouncing in and out. So feel free to call in regardless of the time. We'll be doing it. So coming in for your commentary. So thanks again, guys. Appreciate it.